Sorry, that was one way to grab your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please grab your seats. We will begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please grab your seats. And we will start the show this evening. Thank you all so much.
Good evening. Thank you, Latoya. Welcome to Educational Fest 2022. 5 years of growth and grit. My name is Vivine Ebanks, and along with Sandy Kodo, we're the co-chairs for tonight's event. I became involved with Path to College 4 years ago as a mentor and volunteer on the Outreach Committee, and now I serve on the board. As you can hear from my involvement, I love this organization and am passionate about the work we are doing. I invite you to join us as a mentor or volunteer. Before we get started, I would love to give a big thank you to our Outreach Committee for planning support and our vendors and sponsors. I want to give a big shout out to Desiree, who's not here with us this evening because she's under the weather. Tonight is made possible by the generous financial support from Office Depot, Lynch & Associates, Mike Luciano with Remax, Hendrick Brothers Constructions, and our partners at United Way of Palm Beach County. Thank you for your continued support of our organization. Additionally, I would like to thank everyone who participated in our Big Give fundraising campaign. Each contribution to our ticket sales, raffle ticket, and general donation will support our mission, which is to expand minds and ignite the potential of even more deserving students. To kick off our presentation, we have a special message from U.S. Representative Sheila Sherifalis McCormick. I'm sorry. Thank you and enjoy the
serve my community and nation as a Congresswoman in the United States House of Representatives for the 20th District. My path to where I am today is why I support the Rebuild America School Act, which invests over $130 billion in schools around the country. Additionally, House Democrats have introduced legislation to more adequately support diversity in our schools, give families more tools to fight discrimination, and have already invested over $100 billion in schools through bills like the American Rescue Plan. We have fought for all these resources because we know education is the best way to uplift those communities who have been left behind. I will continue to fight for additional resources so that you, the students in this audience, and students across the United States can have the opportunities that I have had. That's why I ran for Congress, because I know that if each of you is given the support you deserve, you too can go as far or even further than myself and find your own ticket to the American dream. I wish all students in the room the best in your studies.
Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to our 5th annual Ed Fest. Can you guys give yourselves a round of applause for being here in the room tonight? And can you join me in clapping for the students that are changing the world each and every single day as they do the work of going on their path to college? And lastly, I ask for your applause for our founder and executive director, Christine Sylvain, who for 5 years has put grit and merit and work and sweat and everything into building this organization into what it is today. So please help me honor our founder and executive director. It is an honor to serve our community with her, and I could not think of a better way to give back to our students, to our families, to our county here in Palm Beach County. My name is Christina Romulus. I am the Director of Programs here at Path to College, and I'm here to introduce the main event. So we have 5 amazing students tonight that are going to be speaking to you. They have prepped for the last few weeks on what we call Ed Talks. If you are familiar with TED Talks, this is the same thing. The reason why we have our students do this exercise is because we want them to know that in any room that they step in, any microphone that they pick up, they have the authority and they have the audacity to speak up. And we want to hear what they have to say. Their thoughts, their opinions are important. It's valuable, and it's what will make the world a better place 5, 10, 50 years from now, and what they will inherit to be able to change what we have created. So I want to welcome the students who worked so hard to get us to this place, to be here, to be able to showcase what they feel are the most important things for them. You guys have a very important job too, right? Those of us who are here in the audience and those of you who are watching us online, you have a very, very important job. It will be your job to help judge these students' Ed Talks, to tell us which ones are the best, right? To pick the top 3. I don't envy you guys. This is a difficult job. It's a difficult job, but you can do it. We believe in you, right? That's why we put you in these seats. So your job and the programs that you have in front of you, you will see a QR code. As you listen to the students speak, you will be able to use your phone. If you just open up your camera app, you will be able to point your camera at that QR code, and you will be able to click on the link that pops up on your camera, and you can pick the student that you feel had the best Ed Talk, right? And we will pick the top 3, and we will announce that later on in the event tonight. So what we will do now is I want to thank the people who did the preliminary work to get us to this point. We had a selection committee, an Ed Talk selection committee that spent a 48-hour period where they just watched about a dozen videos or so to hear these students' Ed Talk ideas and then to rank them. So I want to thank Whether they're here in the room or whether they are away, we had our panelists who were Steve Schneider, Tammy Fields, Amu Warrior, Sandy Kodo, Vivine Ebanks, Jessica Sasir, Mina Mani. And a special thanks goes to our coach who helped the students as they were preparing their speeches to teach them how to speak in public and how to really carry and present themselves, Mr. Chet Tart. Please help me give a round of applause to our selection committee. And now, students, it's your time to shine. I want to invite our top 5 Ed Talk finalists to come up to the stage. Ms. Joyce Vicente, who will speak on the crisis in our schools. Ms. Samantha Pierre, who will speak on confronting abuse in the Black community. Ms. Jalen Sevilla, who will speak on the war at home. Ms. Sarai Mansour Morales, who will speak on No Data Left Behind. You may go ahead and go up the stage. And Ms. Carmela Bova, who will speak on the courage of imperfection. Ladies, you may take your seats. Our first speaker will be Miss Joyce Vicente. So if you, yes, you go. I'm sorry? Yeah, go for it. Carmela will go first, my apologies. So everyone else can please take a seat. Keep your mic with you, keep it off so that we don't get any feedback. And I will pass the mic over to Miss Carmela. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carmela. It's a pleasure to meet you all and really open up this event. Just for the record, I brought up this big fancy journal. I want you to know that it just says I got this a bunch of times on it, so don't be too scared. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about the courage and imperfection. All right, and when we were talking about some ideas that we wanted to pitch, I talked to Lindsay and I was thinking about all the ones I want to do. And trust me, there were a lot, okay? But I don't have a bunch of days with you, so I picked something that I thought was very common with all the big events going on. And I want you to remember one thing, which is what I'm going to be talking about: comfort and imperfection, and the discomfort and vulnerability. Now, before we start, I have a very, very important question for you. It's going to take a lot of mental strength, a lot of power. Bear with me. How are you? All right. Now, this is a very serious question, and it provides a lot of insight into who we are today. Now, by a show of hands, I want you to take in consideration, right? For most of us, the first answer to pop into our head for how are you is, I'm good, I'm okay. Maybe you're having a little bit of a rough day, so it's I'm fine. By show of hands, how many was that true? Yeah, I figured. See, I want you to know that a lot of us have become so accustomed to putting on a brave face and pretending like everything is okay, when you and I both know that that's not always the case. See, I want to talk about the background in our brain. Our brain thrives on feelings of belonging, confidence, and overall those well moments. We thrive as people on these moments. I know we can all agree with that. Now, without these moments, we suffer from things like mental health disorders, things like anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorders. All of these come from somewhere. Now, what are we doing to help, right? It's a very big topic, something very important. We have therapy, which is beneficial if you can afford it. We have support groups, which can be not always welcoming, not always comfortable. And we have healthy coping mechanisms like deep breaths and listening to music, which is beneficial, but it's not a permanent solution to the problem, right? Is this enough? I know there's a lot of words here, bear with me, but I want you to focus on the words in bold, or the letters, I should say. I want you to focus on the 249. That refers to the amount of incidents in 2020 from school shootings. Or maybe you're focused on the 110, which was our previous record in 2019. Do you see the difference between that? I also want you to focus on the 45,979 Americans who died by suicide in 2020, or the 1.20 million. Let me say that again, 1.20 million who attempted suicide in 2020. Or maybe you like percentages and you want to focus on the massive 25% increase of depression and anxiety in the first year of COVID. See, I tell you this because it's uncomfortable. Not a lot of us want to talk about it. In fact, I see a lot of you in your seats kind of tensing up when I mention it because it's something that stresses us out. But it's about time that we push past that uncomfortableness and talk about it. We need to start talking about what needs to be said. All right? Now the solution, talking about the uncomfortable. I want to challenge you all, which I know, challenge, scary, bear with me. I want to challenge you all to be vulnerable. Now when I say vulnerability, by a show of hands, what's the first thing to pop into our head? Weakness, right? By a show of hands, how many of us thought weak? I want you to know that that's not the case. In fact, by being vulnerable, we're being courageous. Now I want to share a story with you all today. I know a lot of us were affected by COVID, especially in the first year. See, growing up, I was a very outgoing, bubbly person. Hi, nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, tell me more. But COVID happened, and my once outgoing personality was hindered. See, I struggled very badly with social anxiety to the point where it was affecting not only my mental health, but my physical health. I knew it had gone bad when I went to present in front of my medical class and actually threw up before presenting. I had the worst anxiety attack that I've ever had. And I tell you this, not so you feel bad, not so you feel uncomfortable, but so I have power behind my words. I have power behind my story. As I stand in front of you all today and I push myself in the uncomfortness, I want you to know that there's strength behind that. And I hope that this story, that my story, gives you strength as well. See, here's the big solution, being open. By being open, we're being honest with ourselves, and we're allowing room for discussion and room for questions to be answered. Talking with loved ones. Any parents in the house? All right. We need to have these discussions with our kids. Now, I know it's tough to talk to a 10-year-old about depression and anxiety, but there's ways to deal with that, and there's ways to make sure that they feel heard and they feel seen. Now, the last one, which is very, very important, and I really want you to remember, stop ignoring. See, a lot of us push past the issue at hand for our own sake, for our own comfort. We push past the issues of guns and school violence and bullying for our own sake, because who wants to talk about that? But we need to, rather it being ignored, we need to put emphasis on the uncomfortable situation and really focus on that. Now, after hearing my story, how many of us are vulnerable about something? By a show of hands. I want you to take a look around and look at the amount of hands in the air, because you are not alone. There's community in difference and in struggle, because we all go through something. Life isn't going to be sunshine and rainbows, whether we all want it to be. It's going to be difficult. So by talking about it, by being open about it, we can create a community where others feel heard, feel seen, and that's what we really need. Now, here's another 3 things that I want you to remember. Like I said earlier, you are not alone. I'll say that again. It's very important. You are not alone. See, a lot of us struggle with feeling of belongingness, feeling of deep connection, feeling of those good moments, which I mentioned earlier. Our brain, our bodies, us as humans thrive on. So it's something we need. 2, you are seen. As I look at you all today, I want you to know that you are seen, you are heard, and that you're not alone, like I said, because everyone else is going through it. And 3, you have the power. See, we're very strong. If we create a community where others are allowed to talk, be open, be welcoming to each other, we have the power to change the future as we know it. Now, the last thing, which take a picture if you must, write it down somewhere, put it on your fridge. It's okay to not be okay. It's very important. I'm going to say it again so it's engraved in your head. It's okay to not be okay. See, we don't need to be 100% all of the time. In fact, we're going to be 100% maybe 1% of the time. But we still try every day. We get up there. We put in our courage to attempt it. And I congratulate us all as we stand in front of here today, because it's not about winning. It's not about losing. But it's rather the fact that we got up here and we said, you know what, I'm going to try. Even though I don't know the outcome, I'm going to try. Thank you all. That was a little scary, but thank you all.
Great job, Carmela. Our next student will be Sarai.
Hey, y'all. So this is Firstly, whoever made the order has something out for me, because if y'all put me after her, that's sabotage. Thank you very much. Hi, as you can see, my name's Samantha, it's right out there. And today I would like to talk about confronting abuse in the Black community. A child sits on their knees in the living room. Oh, she sits on that with me.
I want to give you the opportunity to start over because we were talking and moving during your speech, so please feel free to start.
Oh, it's okay. Like, I didn't mean to. Okay, let me figure out how to go back. Hello, my name's Samantha, and today I would like to talk about confronting abuse in the Black community and how discipline takes a wrong turn. A child sits in the living room on their knees while they listen to their parents sending their siblings to the next room to go and get a belt. That belt would be used to beat them, a punishment for something that they would never come to fully understand. They are whooped again and again while their siblings in the next room only hear the screams of pain out of their mouth. This is the memory of way too many Black children across America. Upon bringing a child into the world, Black parents are overcome with the overwhelming feeling of protecting their child and also wanting the best for them. How does one prepare their child for the seemingly endless amounts of racism that comes from the world around them? For many Black parents, the answer to this is education through discipline. This discipline is way too often sugar-coated mental and physical abuse. FirstStar.org points out that Black children have a 1 in 5 chance of having a CPS file by age 15. Not only that, but there are countless stories of public humiliation and much more of Black children by their parents, mostly done out of the fear that if the child grew up in the wrong way, they would end up on the wrong side of the gun. But how does fear-based parenting affect the child? Well, first, it doesn't protect them at all. In fact, it puts children in a more compromising position. The American Psychological Association says corporal punishment can lead to increased aggression, antisocial behavior, physical injury, and mental health problems. And that's just in childhood. A lot of the time, when a child grows up, their lack of understanding of how they were treated makes them come up with their own explanations as of why they turned out the way they did. They grow up with the notion that they were all right, and they blame the physical and mental abuse that they suffered throughout their childhood as of to why. They go on to beat their own children, and that kid beats their own, and on and on and on, until abuse is excused as culture. Until the culture of beating your own child is not only normalized, but glorified. Until generations on top of generations of children are put victim to their parents, and they have their own kids learn the same exact struggle. I want to point out that the solutions in mind focus on the younger Black community. Whatever was done to us is done, and we have to take the responsibility to not pass it on. The first step is education. Know what abuse looks like. Understand the definition, and also understand that not every Black parent is guilty of it. We must educate ourselves and the people around us. The next is stress management. Most of this abuse happens because our parents are stressed out. Meditation, relaxation, even deep breathing exercises can help. And another way to manage is therapy, but that's not very accessible to everyone. And then there's just talking and surrounding yourself with like-minded people, starting a group, Even talking to a few friends can help prolong any step towards progress we've made. Though the pressure is on us, Black teens and young adults, I know we are capable of forming a better future for ourselves and the ones coming after us. Thank you for listening.
Our next speaker will be Jalen Sevilla.
Hi, my name's Jalen. My presentation is The War at Home, the way we learn to take control of guns. Imagine you wake up, it's a bright and beautiful day, you're getting ready and you realize you're running late. So you give your child a breakfast bar and an apple juice and you run to the car. You're dashing through the roads trying to get your kid early to school because both of you guys are going to be late at this point. And you're waiting around 10 to 15 minutes in the car line. You're talking about future plans, your vacations, what you're going to eat for dinner that night. And you get to the place where you drop off your kid. You say, I love you. They say, I love you back. You give them a hug and a kiss, and you think all is well. But you didn't realize that that was the last time you were going to see your child. That was the last time you say, I love you. The last time you get to spend a moment with them. Then there's another perspective. That same morning of, you wake up, you say, today's D-Day. Today's the day. I'm going to do what I have to do. You show up, you're at the school with an assault rifle, and you're ready to end hundreds of millions upon too many innocent lives that haven't even started. This is a reality America has to face currently due to the overwhelming lack of control, dedication, and a stance to gun control. America has gone to shambles due to the fact that we haven't taken a stance to an issue that's not only affecting our children, but it's affecting everyone, even adults. If you look at the next slide, I have a statistic here. It's all of children killed by guns in developed countries between 1961 and 2010. 91% of them lived in America. And this isn't just a statistic across the country or across the state, it's around hundreds of countries. Let that settle in. Nations. We are 9 out of 10 kids out of multiple nations. 9 out of 10 are our own kids. This is shameful. It's honestly something that shouldn't be here. It's a stat that we shouldn't be representing today. Between 2014 and 2018, more than 15,000 children died due to firearms. This shows that the things that we are producing, the things that we are teaching our children isn't working, and we have to push forward and take a stance to this issue. We need gun control. And there's many ways and there's many things that we need to know. Why do we need this? You're probably sitting there thinking, we don't need this. This is just another topic a kid's going to talk about today, and it's not. It's a reality we're currently living in. We have the right to life. We have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness declared in the Declaration of Independence. But when our children and ourselves don't feel safe going to school, that right is immediately taken away and it is locked up until we feel safe again. There's also the right to bear arms, which comes straight to contradict this opinion of mine, and not only of mine, of multiple people. But we are not trying to take away your right. We're trying to make sure that the proper people get this right. We're trying to make sure that the people having these rights are the right people. This right only extends to the point where it starts affecting other people. We want our kids to feel safe again. I don't remember the last time I went to school and didn't have in the back of my head, what if this is the last time I'm saying, bye, mom, love you. And it's the reality hundreds of the kids in America now have to face. How many people here are 21 and over by a show of hands? You right now, If you took a simple class, you don't even have to pass a class. You could have a gun in your pocket and nobody here has to know. That is a law in Florida. And that shouldn't be something that is that lightly taken. An object that could end hundreds upon hundreds of lives shouldn't be given to someone just because they took a course. And this brings me to my plan of action. The way we take control of guns is by making mental health tests free. And every time you have to renew your license, you take a mental health test. Because currently, the renewal time of a gun license is 7 years, according to the Department of Agriculture and Customer Service, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Customer Service. In 7 years, a whole life can change. You can go through changes that are not only minimal, like, oh, I have to change my car today because my wife is taking this one. It's a change that can change your whole dynamic of life. We should also increase the age limit because currently the age limit is 21, and according to the National Institute of Mental Health, your brain doesn't stop developing until you're in your mid to late 20s. So by raising the age limit to 25, you already have life experience. Most people have gone already to college. They've solved their problems. They've realized that this is how we take control. Also, we need to control what areas are designated for guns. For example, a forest and a shooting range are completely okay to have guns at. They're proper areas. Many people use guns to hunt. It's a nice activity. But a school shouldn't be a place where someone should have access to guns unless you're professionally trained, like our school police are. And we also need to limit what type of guns are provided to America. Someone doesn't need a machine gun or an assault rifle to defend themselves. We are not at war with each other. We don't need assault rifles. Let that settle in. We are not at war with each other. We don't need assault rifles. It's something unnecessary and illogical to have. And if there's only 3 things you can remember from this presentation, let it be that to make change, it starts with a thought, an action, and a solution. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Joyce Vicente.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joyce Vicente, and today I will be talking about the need for more mental health resources and help in low-income communities. Many of you in the audience may or may not have heard about the situation that occurred on the Dreyfus campus on May 13, 2022. A man by the name Roman Phelps crashed a van into the school gates and then proceeded to run across the campus and get into altercations with the staff and an officer in the school auditorium. He was later killed by an off-duty officer in the school theater. Roman Phelps used to be an alumni at Dreyfus School of the Arts and graduated in the year of 2007. Many of his friends remember him for being an amazing artist who loved his high school and faculty. So what could have caused this behavior? Well, he was actually someone who was struggling with a mental illness. The night before, he was actually in the hospital for mental health concerns. Skylar Meany, someone who spent several hours with Phelps the day before the incident, told WPTV on Saturday that he sought out help and it wasn't given to him. Since the incident, classmates are hoping to open up uncomfortable conversations about mental health resources in the area. Mental health has been a topic that not many are fond of talking about, but it is a very important one. But to be able to talk about it, it is important to understand it. So what is mental health? Well, it is our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Along with mental health, there are mental health illnesses. Take a second to imagine the feeling of such hopelessness and emptiness that you don't even want to get out of bed. Or imagine the feeling of nervousness and fear that your hands won't stop sweating and your heart won't stop racing. Well, these scenarios I just stated is how someone with a specific mental illness like depression or anxiety could be feeling like. Although many people may be experiencing a mental health illness, as you can see from these statistics, not many are in the financial position to get the help they need. Living in poor income communities creates such a huge disadvantage for so many families because they already have to deal with the stress of what they're going to eat and if they will keep living in their home, that this can increase risk for mental health problems. When comparing children of higher socioeconomic status, children of low socioeconomic status experience higher rates of parent-reported mental health problems and higher rates of unmet mental health needs. Studies by the CDC also show that 8.7% of people who have incomes below the poverty level report severe psychological distress. In correlation, the COVID-19 pandemic had such an impact on so many aspects of our lives, including our mental health. So many members of low-income communities had to deal with the mental anguish of losing their jobs, losing the roof over their heads, and the loss of loved ones. Children especially had to deal with the fact that services like guidance counselors that were provided to them through their public schools were not able to be given to them. Some students even had to deal with being stuck in an environment that could worsen their mental health. All around the world, we were all faced with hardships of COVID-19. It limited us in so many areas and confined us into our homes. This pandemic also caused many people to decline in their mental health. Up to 1 in 5 children ages 3 to 17 in the US are having a mental, emotional, developmental, or behavioral disorder. Suicidal behaviors increased 19% and serious considering attempts raised to 36%. From 2009 to 2019, high school students reported feeling persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness and increased 40% and became 1 in 3 students. And early estimates show more than 6,600 suicide deaths. Seeing these numbers are truly devastating. So what is it that we can do to help reduce these numbers? One of the things that can be done is to bring in or build more organizations in low-income communities to help out any families that are in need of it. Educating the future generations about mental health and how they can be affected by it and how they can be aware of the symptoms and signs of certain mental health illnesses. Creating clubs in schools that can become a safe space for many children or teens who want to be in a place with others their age so that they can have people to relate to and talk to that are in their own age group. And of course, making mental health a topic that we can talk about, speaking up about it and what it is we can do to help those who are experiencing it right now. Not everyone comes from the same place. Not everyone is going to go down the same road. Some people are going to run into a dead end or at a river that's too hard for them to face. But it is our job, it is our duty to pave the way, to build the bridges that will lead them to a successful destiny. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last speaker of the night will be Ms. Sarai Mansour Morales.
Hello? Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is... Hello? Hello. Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Sarai, and I'll be speaking about the gender data gap. So, most of you have probably heard of gender inequality, the social phenomenon in which men and women are not treated equally. But you might not be familiar with one of the root causes of gender inequality, which is known as the gender data gap. And why is this important? And what is the gender data gap? It is the misuse of data when a product or decision being made fails to account for gender. And again, why is this important? Because the result of a male-dominated data culture is the male experience. The male perspective has come to be seen as universal, while the female experience, that of half the global population, is seen as nothing. I mean, seriously, this gender data gap is fueling gender inequality even more every day. From development initiatives to smartphones, from medical tech to stoves, tools are developed without reference to women's needs. And as a result, these tools are failing them on a grand scale. This failure affects women's lives in many ways every day. It makes them poorer, it makes them sicker, and when it comes to cars, it is killing them. If you look at this research study on car accidents, women are more likely to be injured than men. Studies show that women are 47% more likely to be seriously injured, 71% more likely to be moderately injured, and 17% more likely to die. Car designers may believe that they are making products for everyone, but in reality, by using male test dummies, they are only making them safe for men. Another example of the impact of the gender data gap is how in 2016, Rachel Tapman, a research fellow in linguistics at the University of Washington, found that Google speech recognition software was 70% more likely to recognize male speech than female speech. And supposedly, it's currently the best on the market. And don't get me started with the AI Siri. When she was launched, she ironically could find prostitutes and Viagra suppliers. But if a woman told Siri that she had been raped, Siri responded, "I don't know what you mean by I was raped. I don't know what you mean by I was raped." The data gap impressively also impacts the workplace. Industries that have more women workers face more challenges and risk. Research has found that nurses are subjected to more acts of violence than prison guards and police officers. Even the medical world has a gender data gap. For a millennia, medicine has functioned on the assumption that male bodies can represent humanity as a whole. As a result, we have a huge historical data gap when it comes to female bodies. And this is a data gap that is continuing to grow as researchers continue ignoring the pressing ethical need to include female cells, humans, and animals in their research. Women are dying, and the medical world is complicit. It needs to wake up and make changes. Can you imagine how many treatments women have missed out on because they had no effect on the male cells on which they were exclusively tested on? Whether or not women and men feel like they are impacted by gender inequality, the gender data gap is impacting all of us all the time. And to all the gentlemen in the audience, may I have your attention? It's not always easy to convince someone a need exists if they don't have that need themselves. I don't at all intend to make you the bad guys, but it is essential that both men and women are aware of the benefits that closing the gender data gap will bring to them as individuals and as members of communities and societies. It is important to engage more men in standing for better data processes and collections. This is an encouragement for you to realize that standing with women to help increase female representation in all spheres of life won't just make an impact on women, but for you too. So I ask you to stand for a change and ask yourself, what can I do? Thank you.
was gonna ask for a round of applause, but my work has been done for me. Wow. So please help me give a round of applause to all of our students. Students, please stand and accept your round of applause for the hard work that you put in for your EdFest panel today. You all may come down. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you your job would be hard today. I want to re-emphasize that. Good luck. Our students were phenomenal today, were they not? My goodness. I know we said to hold back applause till the end, but I was just in my seat struggling, like, I can't clap. Okay, I can't clap. I can't clap. No clapping. Okay, next speaker. Oh, I can't clap for her too either. Okay, I can't clap. Oh my gosh, it was so hard. So I'm glad again that I'm not in your seat. Good luck. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity. For those of you who are online watching us, for those of you who are in the audience, please take the time now to start voting. All right? You can use the QR code that's here on the screen, or you can also use the QR code that's on your program, and you will be able to vote for each of the students. I want to repeat their names again for you so that you know. You'll also see them in the you'll also see them online when you go to vote for them. So again, our students that presented today, we had Carmela Bova, who spoke on the courage of imperfection. We had Jalen Sevilla, who spoke on the war at home. We had Joyce Vicente, who spoke on the crisis in our schools. We had Samantha Pierre, who spoke on confronting abuse in the Black community. And we had Sarai Mansour Morales, who spoke on no data left behind. Okay, no pressure. Get it done, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, I want to make sure to take an opportunity to thank some of our local supporters who have helped us this past year really get to this point of encouraging the STEM pathways being something that is vital for our students to take a part of. STEM, for those of you who don't know, stands for science, technology, education, mathematics. And this group of people came and really helped support our students to help expose them to these types of careers. And we want to make sure we thank them and honor them. So we did things such as coding workshops. We had our Seating Access internship partnership. We did a 6-week series where we highlighted careers, a day in the life of what it looks like to be in some of these specific STEM careers. And on the screen here, you can see some of these amazing organizations that partner with us to help expose our students. We had panelists who came and spoke to our students and shared with them what it looked like to live in to walk in their shoes for a day. What does it mean to be in AI? What does it mean to do engineering, water, math, science, computers? What does it mean to do all those things? So you can see them here. I'm not going to take the time to list them all, but I really want to make sure that we honor and thank them because it was professionals in their industries that expose our students to these STEM careers. So please help me give them a round of applause. Lastly, I want to thank one of our long-term partners, Dr. Eric DeBouye, who helps in leading the FAU Wilkes Honors College Science Scholars Program. Every year, he partners with us to host some of our students and teaching them how to do research and how to then take that research and actually publicize it. So the students that you're about to hear today, they are actually published scholars. Can you give them a round of applause for that? In high school. In high school, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear me? In high school, they didn't even have to get a PhD, okay? In high school, they are already published authors. So we want to thank Dr. DeBouye, we want to thank the Cox Science Museum, and also we want to thank the FAU Wilkes Honors College, which is our CEO and our founder and executive director's alma mater. So I want to welcome our science scholars who are Coy McLeod, and also you'll get to hear again from Ms. Sarai to speak with us about their findings during their science scholar research. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys can take the mic.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarai.
And my name is Corey McLeod, and today we're here to present a presentation with the FAU Science Scholars Program done by me and me and her, and some of our other Path to College associates. Our project will be on evolutionary stress in the animal kingdom. Thank you. What is stress and how do you measure it? I'm pretty sure we all know what stress is. You know, you come home from a long day of work, you're tired and you're irritated. Well, stress can generally be defined as any physical or physiological disruption in everyday life. Stress is conservative, which means that it is prevalent in all animals in the animal kingdom. So, in fish, stress can be measured using the novel tank assay. A fish is placed in a tank, and there's a halfway line designated in the tank. And how much time the fish spends in the top and bottom of the tank determines how much stress the fish undergoes. If the fish spends more time in the bottom of the tank, it experiences more stress. The fish we decided to use for this experiment was the Astyanax mexicanus. We use this fish because there's two variants which have over a million years of evolutionary differences. The surface version of the fish is more social, has more pigmentation, and is more adept for predators. The cave variant of the fish is less social, albino, and is at the top of its food chain. Our hypothesis is that due to cave fish having less predators, they have lower stress levels.
And to explain our procedures, we simply gathered up our materials, we set up the novel tank and our subjects, the fish, and then we continued to place one fish in the novel tank, and we recorded the behavior for at least 3 minutes. And then we recorded the time the fish spent at the bottom of the tank. And then we repeated the trials multiple times for both fish. And then we analyzed and compared data of both fish. And then we reached our conclusion and presented our findings. Okay, I guess the slide wasn't there, but so there was a significant, on our data, we found a significant difference between the two types of fish, and the surface fish spent more time at the bottom of the tank compared to the cave fish. And to explain our conclusion, because the cave fish have less predators, they had less stress behavior, and our data supported our initial hypothesis of the due to the cave fish having less predators, they have lower stress levels. And we just want to give a special thanks to Dr. Tuboy and Ms. Jonatul and the Path to College Fellowship and the Cox Science Center. Thank you.
Now this one's on now. Wow. I am so honored to be a small part of this growing and wonderfully energetic organization. It takes so many people in our community coming together, you know, joining hands to provide the unparalleled opportunities that you can see that we provide our students, to provide them the expert guidance that they need to fulfill their potential. And boy, is there so much potential in our communities of under-resourced communities and disadvantaged. There is so much potential, so many gems in the mine just waiting to be plucked, just waiting to be put to good use, to do the good and great work of this society so that we all may benefit. So it's my honor to be here, and I thank you all for digging in and for being a part of it. Now we're going to segue over into our panel of the night. It's AI and the future of education. I'm so excited to bring this panel to you all tonight because it's going to be an incredible opportunity for us to think deeply about the ways that education may change. based on innovation and industry changes. But before we do that, we're very lucky. We're going to take a look back in time as we honor these students in the room and the amazing potential here. We want to honor those who came before us and the trailblazers who have broken down barriers and kicked down doors and broken through windows to achieve milestones. And so today we're lucky we're going to have Rhonda Gordon from the Historical Society of Palm Beach come up and give us a moment look back in time at some tech employees and leaders from, I think, the 60s, is it? But Rhonda will tell us more.
Hello, thank you. Oops. On behalf of the Historical Society of Palm Beach County, it is my pleasure to present this photo from our archival collection. In this picture, it depicts a woman working at RCA in the 1960s, which shows even then how important technology was and how far we still have to go. That's pretty much it. But I do want to say, when I got here tonight, I was filling in for our CEO and development director. I had no idea what I was in for. I have to tell you, I've been so impressed tonight. I almost don't want the night to end. You know, what you guys do is amazing. You guys have come to the Historical Society. You've been in our museum and everything. But my gosh, the great work that you guys are doing, have at it. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you, Rhonda. And yes, we have enjoyed greatly a partnership with this Historical Society with our civic engagement night and field trips. So thank you for that as well. So now we've taken our look into the past, and now it's time to gaze into the future. And I am honored to know and respect and look up to our moderator tonight, Mark Howard, who is our former Chief of Performance and Accountability at the School District of Palm Beach County. Mark has been instrumental in using data to bring a laser focus to equity gaps in our community so that principals and school leaders can make sure all kids are getting what they need. Mark also was our education champion last year for his work within the school district and with many community partners to spearhead the digital inclusion initiative, where our community came together and made sure that students anywhere and everywhere had the technology and the Wi-Fi routers they needed to get through COVID, to continue learning as best as they could with online learning, which we all know is very difficult. So with that, I'm going to invite Mark Howard up to moderate our panel, and he will introduce our speakers. I also want to let you know that we do have cards, and we will be taking questions, just a few at the end of the panel. So if you have the desire to ask a question, please just wave at our dear program manager, Lindsay Saunders, and she will bring you a card, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Christine. Before we get started with the panel, come on, let's give it up for the kids. That just demonstrates the awesome power and potential of opportunity. Just give these kids the opportunity and exposure and stand back and be amazed. And I think Christine was being humble when she said she's a small part. Christine, what's happened over the last 5 years is amazing. Our community, Palm Beach County Schools and Palm Beach County community benefits from all of this work and the amazing leaders that it produces. So from me to you, thank you. And really what an event like tonight does for me, it does two things. It makes me really feel grateful for living in Palm Beach County, right? And it also just demonstrates to me the rich talent and potential that's in our community. So we're really fortunate to be living right now in Palm Beach County with the amazing people that are in this room. Some of them you're about to hear from. So, and thank you to everyone that's here tonight. So let's get started. Artificial intelligence and education. Let's take a look to the future. So I'm going to introduce our panelists. And as I am kind of introducing you, if you want to come on up and grab a seat. First is Dr. Christina Gardner-McCune. Christina, or Dr. McCune, is an associate professor in Computer and Information Science and Engineering Department at the University of Florida's Herbert Wertheim College of Engineering. She is also the co-chair of the AI for K-12 initiative, which is one of the reasons she's here. She's an expert in this area and is leading the development of national guidelines that articulate what students know and should be able to do with AI. All right, give it up. Next, this is a gentleman who I've known for several years, and we're really fortunate to have him in Palm Beach County as well. Dr. Roger Yohe from Palm Beach State College. Dr. Yohe is the Vice President of Academic Innovation and Strategy. He joins with 35 years of experience as an educator. He's worked across the country on innovative projects. He's a founding member or a founding faculty member of Estrella Mountain Community College, where he served in a number of different positions. And as Roger and I have spoken, he's an outside-the-box thinker, and we're fortunate that he's doing that at Palm Beach State. Thank you, Roger. Next, Rachel Goins. Rachel is the Director of Program Implementation for Tech Workspace Initiatives for the Kapor Center. In this role, she supports strategic planning and execution of projects. She brings 13 years of experience drawing on improvement and implementation science to design, manage, and deliver research-based initiatives. What also makes her special is she has co-led national centers focused on personalized learning in ed tech and educator quality, and provided subject matter expertise for place-based anti-poverty programs. And finally, a Palm Beach County legend, Dr. Pete Martinez. This guy's got so many accomplishments and credentials, it's hard to list. He's founder and chairman, CEO of the SIVOTEC family of companies, which is high innovation enterprises at the intersection of health, artificial intelligence, and sports. He served for 32 years with IBM as Vice President of Global Business Services. He is also a research affiliate at MIT, visiting professor at FAU and FIU, chair of the University of Miami School of Engineering Advisory Board. He's also a board member for the Student ACES organization, focusing on academic and athletic leadership development, and has over 30 patents. And what do you do in your spare time, sir?
8 grandkids.
8 grandkids. All right. Nothing better than that, right? So as we do this, we have about 30 minutes with our panel. I'm going to pose a question, and then we'll let the panelists kind of, each has a microphone, decide who answers, and then if somebody else wants to contribute to that, we'll give you the opportunity. Sound fair? All right. Thank you so much. Yes, says the engineering guy. So the first question, around artificial intelligence and education that I'll pose is, how will artificial intelligence change the trajectory of what we know now as education, and what are the implications for it within different curriculum paths? Who would like to take a try at that? Okay, Christina?
Okay, yeah, all right. I think in the work that we're doing here in Florida, from the University of Florida perspective, and also from the work that, okay, can you hear me now? From the work that we're doing at University of Florida with the state colleges, this project just kicked off in January. We're going to be working with state colleges to make sure that we have opportunities for faculty and students to engage in AI and to learn about what AI is and integrate it into their own discipline. So we're not thinking about everybody's going to become a computer scientist and everybody's going to be developing AI, but we know that AI is going to be affecting every sector of our economy and every business. And so thinking about how do we make sure students have the skills and faculties have the skills to educate students about AI. And so that's kind of one aspect of it, right? AI is going to affect everybody, right? It affects all of us right now because everybody has a cell phone. I saw you all vote, right? So the fact that you were able to scan that QR code is part of computer vision. It's part of AI algorithms that actually look at how do we analyze and recognize things, right? So that's one aspect of a very long line of algorithms that are out there that are in our phones and in our technologies that we use every day. So as consumers, we need to be aware of when are we interacting with AI and make conscious decisions about, is this the way that I want AI to be affecting my lives? And then as we move into the workforce, some of us are going to be consumers of AI in the sense of we're going to be deciding, do I buy a technology that has AI in it? What impact will it have on the people that I'm using to make decisions about using this AI? And then me being educated about, should I be using this technology? And if so, what data was it trained on? And just beginning to think about that. And as a computer scientist, someone that educates future computer scientists and developers, I'm thinking about what should they know about building AI to make sure that we build AI that's equitable and that's beneficial to our community. So there are many pathways in which our lives interact with AI, both personally and professionally. And I think it's super important for everybody to know about those things.
Thank you, Dr. McCune. Rachel and then Pete.
Okay. So I just wanted to make a note about where AI is not going. So, 5 to 7 years ago, folks were speaking a lot about how with personalized learning, computers were going to replace teachers. No one says that anymore because we realized it was ridiculous. And especially with COVID, it's absurd, right? AI cannot do many things that humans can do, like interpretation, evaluation, creativity, and judgment. Teaching is a highly, highly technical and skilled profession. And so we know that AI will not replace teachers. What it can do is alleviate them from the administrative and routine tasks that aren't actually reflective of teachers. We have teachers doing a lot of things that isn't actually teaching. And so AI will free them up to do their particular skill better and more often. So it's a beautiful thing, but teachers will never be replaced, ever.
One of the fundamental things that we have to do is get a base understanding of what AI is and it isn't. Artificial intelligence is exactly what it says. The most powerful computer in the world is our brain. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to replace or enhance in a computer system and mimic the things that we do in our brain. Why? To facilitate life, to actually do the things that we struggle with or enhance the things that we do. So back to Rachel's point, what we're trying to do is enhance professions. So I've been working on AI before it was AI, it was only artificial, okay? However, if you look at 3 things that artificial intelligence does now that computers didn't used to do. Computers used to add, multiply, subtract, move information in and out. 3 things that you should remember. One is pattern recognition. Our brains do that. We see things, we recognize them, they're objects, okay? Computers now will be able to recognize patterns, patterns in images, patterns in voice, patterns in data. Second thing is reason, contextualize a thought, a piece of data into a problem that being sought. That's what humans do. It says the same data can be applied to 2 different scenarios. And the third one is the machine learns. The whole concept of machine learning, every transaction, you learn more and more and more. So the machine starts perfecting itself. Every concept right now is that artificial intelligence will be used as a support system to a human, not to replace a human. That's very, very important for a number of reasons. One, we haven't validated all of the algorithms and potential imperfections. Second, there's tremendous liability that comes when you say we're solely responsible for, the computer is solely responsible for any kind of answer. So whether it be a teacher or a clinician, we keep those individuals in place to ensure, validate, and protect the liability of the recommendations being made. And the third one is, we believe that there's a tremendous value to enhancing the decision-making process. We as humans can only absorb so much information, but imagine if you were supported by a computer that is daily pulling in millions and millions of records on an ongoing basis and helps you make better decisions. That's where it's going. There's a point out in time at 2050, which it's called singularity. That means the computer will have equivalent reasoning capability, processing capability as a human being. But what happens is technology doubles in speed every 2 years. So 2 years after that, it will have twice the compute capability of a human being, and then 4, and then, so it's exponential. So the best thing that we can do right now is anticipate, predict, and work with an enhancement of our processing capability, grow with it, and become a better human condition. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to wrap all that up because I can react to each of them. But in education, we always have to keep on what's happening, an eye on what's happening in the world. So like, I'm old. And I started education when we didn't have a lot of computers. And a lot of people were fearful. And I heard teachers, and I worked with teachers that says, I don't want to get involved with this because it might replace me. And my answer was this, and it still is today. Any teacher who can be replaced by a computer deserves to be. Really? So is what we do a lot more than just transactional, and I've seen a lot of digital diploma mills. You know, colleges creep up and they kind of like robo courses. Education is more than that. So when the pandemic hit, our motto was on teach on. Our students need us now more than ever. Now we got to look what's happening in the outside world. Last year, private investment in the United States in artificial intelligence was $50 billion. So you got the United States up here, and we're ahead of China. They're down here, and European Union's down here. As educators, we've got to see what's going on. And if we don't react and adapt, and we join our great partners at the University of Florida, you're helping us out immensely to prepare for this, what I call the fourth industrial revolution. That's really going to change our lives. It's AI for all. And I really admire the work that you're doing. So I think we all need to know some level of artificial intelligence, because it's not this sci-fi stuff that we're talking about. But look at what's happening with self-driving cars. Now in Europe, most of the trains in cities, the rails are ruled by unmanned vehicles. We're already there. AI's not coming, it's here, and it's gonna stay. And if we don't react to it, it's AI in every discipline. You gotta look at every discipline. You're doing a lot of great work at University of Florida in agriculture. You have a good agriculture college up there. But think of healthcare. Would you want medicine that's designed for like the average person? Or would you want medicine that is designed for your genome? We look forward to that day. So artificial intelligence is going to power this personalized revolution in medicine. And if we don't prepare our students for that, what type of jobs? We don't want to prepare students for jobs of today. We got to think of the careers of the young speakers that we heard here today. What they're going to see in their lifetime is staggering. Staggering. And if we don't provide those skills for them and react to the curriculum, so we're partnering with University of Florida to have their faculty help our faculty get up to speed in all this. But it's AI in every discipline, AI for all.
Great. Thank you so much, all of you. So let's focus now. Let's take all of kind of what was laid out there, that all of the awesome potential, right? The power, and talk about how we can use AI for good to increase the performance of students and teachers alike, but keeping an eye on equity at the forefront, right? As you said, AI for all. So, who'd like to take Rachel?
Okay, I'm happy to. So once again, supporting in terms of impacting teachers or helping them be more effective, definitely supporting them and taking the tasks off their plate that are not teaching. Teaching, I just want to reemphasize, the act of teaching is such a highly technical, skilled profession. They cannot do all of the other things that they are tasked with doing and do teaching well. It is impossible. So job design is very important in terms of we need to design the job of teaching in a way that allows them to do more teaching and less routine tasks, which AI can alleviate. For students, we know that AI cannot teach, but it can certainly supplement teaching. So as we think about, when we were talking about COVID and learning loss, which I don't support the term learning loss, but the disruption to learning, we know that the most effective intervention was tutoring. Now, nothing replaces a human tutor that can actually determine stress in a student, can determine why they may not be getting something, but we know that AI tutors have helped with retaining information, with root practice, and it has improved students' performance. So that is a way that AI can help students, is doing those kind of routine practice drills in a fun and gamified way that can keep students engaged. But again, I just want to emphasize, it does not replace the need that we have for human beings to be interacting with students and supporting their learning.
There are two elements here. First, enabling the students with platforms, with technologies that use the technology itself. We've seen the evolution. I was probably one of the last persons to use a slide rule, and then it became a calculator, and then it became very sophisticated calculators. So now you look at technology such as was mentioned related to genomics. One of our projects is we're doing pediatric genomics, kids with rare genetic diseases. We took processes that would take 3 to 4 days for a highly skilled geneticist to do one case, one kid, and we got it down to 10 seconds. 10 seconds with much higher accuracy, repeatability, and scalability. Now, put that same platform in the hands of a biology student or an engineering student and let them go at it. Because the innovation that will come out from these students enabled with that kind of technology, they don't have to know how to code on Python. They don't have to learn or invent a new device. Use it. You use a calculator, you use an iPhone, use the AI technology and grow with it.
Thank you.
I think one of the big things I want to make sure is that the young lady who presented on the gender data gap, right? So part of the gender data gap is also driving and will drive AI in the future. So we need to be thinking about what kind of data do we need to be inclusive and what kind of people do we need to be helping to design this technology and inform it so that it solves problems. I hear about I love the presentations. I loved hearing about the things that you all are passionate about, right? Mental health, school safety, gender safety, physical safety, right? If these are issues you want and you're impassioned about solving, how can we use AI to solve that, right? AI should be used as a tool, to your point, to help you solve problems that you're passionate about. And we need to make sure that we have representation, right? Because what I'm passionate about might not be what Roger's passionate about or anybody else, right? So we need to be thinking about, how do we make sure everybody has access to AI education so that they can learn and they can apply these technologies to problems that they're passionate about.
So I'm going to be more basic in my response. So let's go back pre-pandemic. And I can remember, I think everyone remembers where they were when that pandemic hit, right? I can be, we got the college executives around, and then I was looking at the news and things are just unfolding. And when the NBA canceled the season, remember that? I thought, okay, it's a new ball game. What in the heck we gonna do, right? So we had to pause. We had to shut down the college and pause and help our faculty move their face-to-face classes online. What would it be like if we had this pandemic 20 years ago when we didn't have the systems in place that we have now? We'd be in a real pickle, wouldn't we? Right? I'm telling you, there'd be a talk about loss of learning. I mean, my goodness. So we were kind of sitting there and I thought, we have so many students that don't have access to basic computers. How are they going to learn online during the pandemic? So we started calling people frantically. And our friends down at Miami-Dade College says, well, we got about 500 computers that we're not using right now. We kind of overbought. And I thought, can we come down? I says, load up the pickup, guys. Go down and get it, So we brought laptops up. We bought more laptops. We make sure, and to this day, that every learner has a laptop. The real power of educational technology is not necessarily in the hands of faculty. You got to get the technology in the hands of students. And I really applaud our school district of Palm Beach County. They made that commitment. Every learner has a laptop. Boy, I think you all put Wi-Fi in the buses even, like you can't escape learning, in Palm Beach. But we still provide a laptop to learners, but we can't keep that up because the federal money that allowed us to purchase that is drying up. We've got to think of ways of making sure, because even though you might have a laptop in your home, you might have to compete with other family members to use it. That's a real equity issue in our eyes. And what the school district and the county and the federal government's doing to make sure people have broadband in their homes. A lot of this isn't going to happen unless we take care of those basic folks. So, laptop for every learner, good broadband connection, because learning will stop. Like I tell our faculty, they're really working hard to put courses up online even for face-to-face classes. We have materials online, right? We're trying to get open textbooks that are free to reduce the price of textbooks. We got a great library system, electronic resources. Put a lot of money in. For about a decade, we've had more holdings in our library electronically than like physical books and magazines. And I mean, that switched a long time ago. So we have all this stuff. So what? If you can't go home and connect to all this, so what? That's a basic need that we have in our community. And I'm really proud of being in Palm Beach County because a lot of places around the country don't have the resources to provide to their students. But let's get the hands of the technology and the students, and they'll make the magic happen.
Can I add to that? I love what you said, and it's so important. You actually addressed the equity question, part of the question, which I did not, so thank you. But, talking about the digital divide and then defining it not just as access to the device, but also broadband and high quality broadband. So I think one thing that we can really do that's, we need to question some of the programs that we are touting as, for example, telecom companies saying like, hey, we'll give a low priced broadband plan to low income families. Well, if you are saying that that family needs to have a credit card or they can't have a balance from previous bills, that's actually not accessible to a bunch of folks who need to take advantage of that. So we need to call companies out on that when they have programs like that, but then they set up things that don't allow people to take advantage of it. The other thing we need to talk about too are the ways in which, and this is not to pick on the telecom companies, they have a lot of power, but the ways in which they prevent infrastructure from being built, for example, in rural communities, and they stop those things from happening. We need to call that out as well, because there's no way, while the workarounds that we're using now are great, we need to have actual infrastructure built out into rural communities, whether or not the telecom companies feel like they're going to make enough money off of it to make it worth their while. They cannot be the ones that make that decision. The other thing I wanted to note too on an equity bend is, right now we're talking about how we can make sure that computational thinking is actually implemented across subject areas. And the reason why we're talking about that is that we know we can't get computer science access to all kids. But what that's creating is a two-tiered system, right? Where privileged, wealthy children are getting actual computer science, and then Black and Latino children are getting something else. They're getting, they're getting things that are wedded in or blended into other subject areas. All children need access to computer science, and we need to be thinking about how do we back into other subject areas through computer science, teaching literacy through reading computer science materials, teaching math through computer science, so that we're not creating that bifurcated system.
One of the growing areas now of interest and concern is the ethics of artificial intelligence. I was very fortunate to be asked by University of Florida, by Regina Rodriguez, to actually participate in the development of an executive course related to the ethics of AI. It was probably one of the most mind-bending experiences I've gone through, because now you're imagining what could be done in the future and what to do about it. There are no right answers, by the way, where you just start anticipating autonomous vehicles driving around. Well, what if, and one of the cases was fascinating, what if we had an autonomous robot in a wartime and it goes nuts and it starts killing people that we would not have necessarily killed? But then the question comes back of reality, which is, what if that robot actually had more sensors on it than a human could, and the robot actually did make the right decision? Now what do you do? And what about if the robot on the other side of the fence, the enemy, actually is programmed to kill those little kids? So the tug of war that we go through, start thinking about what could be done, what could be possible. Does the car run over the little old lady or the kid with a stroller? Well, what would you do as a human being? We can code it, but what would you do? So you start hearing the word bias being focused and integrated into this conversation. Look, the computer doesn't make decisions by itself. You got to feed it in the data. So the only way, another way to represent bias is weight factors. How much weight factor did you put into this data versus that data? And then the computer will crunch it based on the algorithms and the math you gave it. So, but ethics, really, really fascinating conversation.
Thanks so much. Yeah. So we're about at time. What I'd like to do is the lightning round. And we've got a lot of parents. We've got young people here. And so as this is developing and we're all just kind of educating ourselves about it, very quickly, like, is there one question in your mind that people should be asking about AI? Okay. Okay, everybody wants to start? Pete?
Yeah, how quickly can I get my kids involved into programs that will actually accelerate their thinking? The beauty of the technology now, there is no reason why anybody should not have access to it. It is bridging the AI divide. So if it's a matter of connectivity, get the connectivity, but get your kids fundamental into the new wave of thinking and progress. It's an impact on the science, the technology, and the business models of the future, and the business models of today.
Thank you. Anybody else?
So there are a couple of things. Number one, it's not just getting access to computer science, but asking if your child has access to high quality computer science. The other thing is, my work primarily focuses on racial justice in tech. So once we get more Black and Latino and Native children into tech, how are they treated when they're there? And so one of the things that I think about a lot is in looking at kind of the cesspool of the comments in internal Slack channels, the things that people have been caught saying on open forums. When we talk about ethics in tech, we really do need to be talking about character education. And I know that's a throwback. I feel like that hasn't been on the national agenda for a while. But we really need to start building not just critical thinking, but character in kids in K-12, because once they get to tech in those companies, it's a problem. I'm concerned, and we need to backwards map that and focus more on building great critical thinking, ethical, character-driven education in students so that they can actually bring ethics into tech. Because asking someone who has no ethical foundation to then think through ethics in tech, that is a bad combination.
You stole my thought. No, really. But the question, the question that I would ask is, how can I learn more? Because this is an emerging field, but it's not going to go away, I'm telling you. I've talked with so many people, different meetings and conferences, and smarter people than me, and you'd be surprised the amount of conversation there's about the future of AI. And so we need to learn more, and here's why. It goes back to what you said about critical thinking. We cannot lose our critical thinking skills. We got to promote it, because AI done wrong can be downright dangerous. And if you see something, you know, you got to think about it, and you got to be like our student speakers today, stand up and say something needs to be done about this, right? So let's just not sit back and let things happen. If you see something that doesn't seem right, that's against our value system, you got to speak up.
Thank you, Roger. So I'm going to stop letting my phone fill in the words for me, right? That's AI. I'm going to have to think and spell, right? And come up with
By
my
the way,
own
one of the points
suggestions.
is very, very interesting is teach our kids and challenge them. Don't wait for the opportunities to come to them. Don't sit back and make them feel sorry for themselves because they don't have this and that and the other thing. It says, look, you're going to compete in a dirty world. Fight like an animal. Go get them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wait, I want to give mine because it
Very
piggybacks
quickly.
on this, but it's about empowerment for everyone in this room. We all have the power. We have the internet. We have like all of the world's knowledge in our palm of our hands. Seek out the information. If you have questions, reach out to people, Google things, but figure out the problems that you're passionate about. Don't wait for somebody else to solve it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We have some questions from the audience, but I think we're at time in order to get the rest of our program. But appreciate it, and we can post these online. Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you again to our panelists. We appreciate you being here. I just, again, want to give a round of applause to our students as we're getting closer to announcing the winner. And I have to ask you all, if you haven't voted yet, please vote now. If you haven't voted yet, please vote now. Okay? So every year, Path to College names an education champion of the year for someone who has had exemplary service, advocacy, and policy and positive impact in the field of education for underserved youth in our area. It takes many hands to create the equity of opportunity and equity of outcomes that is our goal at Path to College and in our education system. So we are thrilled to honor those who work behind the scenes as heroes that close gaps and provide resources to help all students succeed in our community. We still have a lot of work to do. So at this point, I'm going to invite Mark Howard back up. Because he was our previous education champion, we're going to have him tell you a little bit about our nominees, our incredible nominees, and tell you who our winner is today. Okay. Mr. Wolf.
Okay, thank you, Christine. One last round of applause for our panelists. So we're going to very quickly recognize our education champion nominees for 2022. And first up, I would like to recognize Dupree Jackson Jr. from EJS Project in Delray. There he is. Thank you so much. Coleen LaCosta from Speak Up for Kids Palm Beach. Colleen. Okay. Colleen was not able to make it tonight. My good friend Alpesh Patel from eSANGHE. And Pranoo Kumar from Rohi's Readery. And diversity educational consultant. Okay, and your winner is Pranoo Kumar. Congratulations to our 2022 educational champion from Path to College. Pranoo is the proud immigrant daughter of Konkani Indian parents, a career changer from medicine to education, a mother, a wife, and educator committed to liberating education. Over the past 12 years, she's taught, led, worked with, and founded a number of elementary school systems and programs on the East and West Coast, from the South Bronx to Harlem and Seattle. She is committed to identity-driven and empowering learning experiences. We're so fortunate that in 2019, she moved to South Florida and founded divHERse, with emphasis on hers education consulting. I'm sorry, I butchered that. Committed to retention, voice, and representation of women of color and educational leadership, both in the national and international spaces. Most recently, she opened Rohi's Readery, a social justice-driven children's bookstore and learning center committed to critical literacy that promotes inclusivity and diversity, providing opportunities for windows and mirrors, and ultimately a space for building community through free educational programming for children and adults. She is a two-time New York Teacher of Excellence Award winner, the YWCA Dorothy Height Racial Justice Award nominee, Palm Beach Illustrated Educator Award finalist, ADL Florida Community Changemaker winner, Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beach's Diversity Business of the Year nominee, Gates Foundation US K-12 Programs contributor and panelist, and a Path to College mentor. And with that, I give you Pranoo Kumar. Okay, how about you say a few words?
Hello. I don't even know what to say. Sorry. It's been a week, y'all. Sorry. I will just want to first, I always say this, but just pay honor and respect to the ancestors and descendants and those who've come before me, who have truly been doing this work, because they are the reason that I'm able to speak unapologetic truth about what we believe for our babies, and that is the importance of feeling seen, valued, loved, and belong. Sean Hardnett, he runs the Statesman School for Boys in DC, and he says, being seen and heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they are indistinguishable. And for our babies, especially now, it's important that we are ensuring that we are honoring who they are, our babies, no matter newborn or 18, 36, I still feel like a baby. We all deserve that. And I will say my Rohi's Readery is named after my grandmother, Rohini, who was an education activist and someone who fought for children's rights and the emancipation of women's rights in India. So I feel her presence ever so much right now. And I just hope that as a community, we can continue to fight for our babies, because our schools, our spaces. There's so many places that are trying to erase the stories of our children. Even just as early as this past weekend, and I say this in full honesty, there was a mass shooting threat. And we had our beautiful LGBTQIA plus youth and our Black and brown babies, our neurodiverse community, our disability community. And people are not fighting hard enough for our babies. And so I'm grateful to be in this space with all of you because our babies deserve that. So I'm sorry. It's been a week. And being here just gives me hope that that I'm not alone in this space. And I'm grateful to all of you because I'm learning so much, like from you, Christine. So thank you. Sorry. I didn't know what to say. It's just been a week.
So, for some, the work is personal. I know it's personal for me. And there's many of us out here working very hard to clear pathways and to embrace those who need it to find their truest selves. And Pranoo, it's been an honor to know you. I have to say, I've known Pranoo a long time. She is a mentor in our program, and I saw her from across the room, and she had a T-shirt that said "Decolonize Education," and I was like, "Can we talk? What's your name?" Hi. Tell me more about you. What do you think? What are your thoughts? And I have to say, though, that went into the vote today. My affection for her. It was an independent committee of people who looked at all of the incredible champions that were nominated, who were doing incredible work, and they chose. So I just wanted to make that clear that it wasn't my personal friendship and love, because I have love for all the champions out there, truly. And with that, we are going to move on. We're almost at the point where we're going to announce our Ed Talk winner tonight. And boy, was I impressed with our speakers. Oh my goodness, it was so powerful and so amazing. Before we do that, every year at Education Fest, we honor a Fellow of the Year and we honor a Mentor of the Year. So our program is called a fellowship, not because we're a religious organization, although there's a lot of spirit, but because we feel like family, and because we show up for our students, and we bring in professionals in the community who have something to give, and sometimes they don't realize they have something to give, but they have a lot to give. And what they have is presence and care, and it's as simple as that. For our mentors, it doesn't take much more than that, although many of our mentors go above and beyond, and Pranoo is one of them. And there's others in this room whose eyes I keep catching, and I'm going to cry if I stay too long, so I won't. But we appreciate you, and we what you do for our students are just some of the most incredible people I have the honor to work with. And it is such a privilege to meet them day one, where everybody's just a little shy and just like a little reserved. And in 3 years, we're like, stay out of their way. They're going some places. So it's such an honor. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful program manager, Lindsay Saunders, to announce our Fellow of the Year.
Hello, everybody. So depending on how long you've been involved with Path to College, you might have met me when I started as a college coach. And I also met our Fellow of the Year when I was a college coach, and being able to work with her one-on-one and seeing all of the barriers that she had to overcome and continues to overcome as she transitions to this next part of her journey at a four-year university. UF on a full ride, by the way. Yes, let's give it up. Yes. seeing her story and being a small part of it has been the biggest privilege because her story is very unique. All of our students overcome insurmountable barriers to get to where they are and to get to that next step. But I am going to let her feel ready to share those parts of her story that are a little bit more vulnerable because as we've heard today, there is power in that. But I do want to honor that work, we supported it, but she carried it through. She had an incredible support system here, but she made that decision to take that next step. And it is my humble honor to acknowledge Nichelle Johnson as our Fellow of the Year for the class of 2022.
Hello. I would like to thank the Path to College family for the support over the past 4 years. And I would like to thank my mentor, Mrs. Taramu Young, for supporting me as well over the past 2 years. I would not have been able to accomplish as much as I have without the support of all of you. So thank you.
I've been fighting back tears for the last 10 minutes, so please forgive me. I want to congratulate Nichelle, but I want to congratulate her mentor. And if her mentor could work her way down here, I'm sorry. You got me started, Pranoo. 2 babies, hormones are still raging. Anyway, Tara didn't know that she was being honored tonight. I just told her she must be here, period, point blank. And even though Black is slimming, I'm pretty sure you can all see that she has something on board. She's got a bun in the oven. And the fact that she is raising her own family, but took the time to be a mentor for the past 2 years to Nichelle, to carry Nichelle through some of the difficulties and the hardships that she had to face. And the reason we pick a student and a mentor of the year is we want to showcase the students that have overcome the most and that have faced the most adversity, the most challenges, and that have gotten themselves across the finish line. And Nichelle is going to be going to University of Florida on a full ride scholarship this year. And that wouldn't, it takes a village. It takes a village for that to happen. And the primary person in that village was Tara, her mentor, who was there checking in on her, whether she wanted to be checked in on or not, or whether she returned her phone calls or not. But she still checked in and she stayed consistent and kept her going and let her use the adversities as a reason to not go with the distance. She still kept her going. And now because of her effort, Nichelle is where she is today. So I want to thank you. I want to congratulate you. And I hope you'll be back for more students. Recruiting already, that's my job, right? So thank you, you're amazing. And we want to thank all of our mentors. It's not an easy job to be a mentor, but you guys do it so well. So there are so many that I see in the room. I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you. I want to throw praise your way. Even though you're not up here receiving Mentor of the Year, you are the mentor of the year for your student that you mentor, because without you, they can't go where they're going. You pour into them, you encourage them, you're their cheerleader. So thank you. And for those of you who are here wondering, can I be mentor of the year next year? Yes, maybe you can. Please speak to me. I will be happy to sign you up to be a mentor for one of our students. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Christina. And that's real. So at this point, I'd like to ask our students to stand. Go ahead. And we might need to dim the lights, but We'll see. So when you join this fellowship, it's a commitment, and it's a commitment first and foremost to yourself. And we ask every student when they join to do our student pledge. And so tonight we'd like to reaffirm that pledge and before we announce our winner. So if you'll join me tonight in reciting the student pledge, I would be very welcome. And if you're a former fellow, please stand up and recite the pledge too. We see you. We see you. Okay. We say once a fellow, always a fellow. Okay. So are we ready? And I recognize that while I have no control over many circumstances in my life, my potential, my work ethic, and my commitment to help others, if executed properly, guarantee my ability to leave this world a better place. I am intelligent, courageous, resilient, and capable. And from this moment, I vow to put my heart, soul, and intellect into every endeavor I attempt. With a grateful and grounded heart, I recognize that by committing to this way of life, I will leave an indelible mark on my community and lead an honorable life of meaning and significance. Thank you. And Emily Pantelides, I'd like to invite you up here. So thank you, students, so much for reaffirming that pledge that we all feel so deeply and that we commit to. It's quite the responsibility to take on, but we're counting on you. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Emily to think a little bit deeper about our work.
Hello. I was asked to speak to you very briefly because I know the main attraction is coming up at our winners, but I was asked to talk to you just a little bit about why we're here, because we're having a wonderful time. I think everybody's inspired. I think everybody feels the same thing, the movement to do something. And all of that is because of one organization. It's because of Path to College. It's because of the time and the effort that they put into their organization, the kids, this event. I call them kids, they're students, the students. I mean, everything that's happened is because of this organization. And they have a new slogan, which I'd like to tell you a little bit about. It says, Path to College is an organization that fearlessly clears the path for overlooked students to get into the best schools with better scholarships. That's what they do. And you know, when I heard that for the first time, I closed my eyes and I pictured a forest or something where you can't really see and you're lost and you're getting scared and you don't know how you're going to get through the weeds. And then somebody really strong comes with whatever it is to knock the weeds over. And then all of a sudden you can see the path to get home. And I think it's so great for what this organization does in our community. Fearlessly clearing the path to remove whatever barriers are in the way of these students and their success. And so when I was asked to speak, I was asked to just talk a little bit about the privilege of high expectations. So that's something that I believe came up last year at this Education Fest. And what it really means is, for many of us in this room, we've had the privilege of someone believing in us, somebody having a high expectation of us. And that is what we can pay forward. And there's so many ways to do that here at Path to College. You know, since 2017, through 5 years of growth and grit, their flagship program, a 3-year academic fellowship, has moved very big mountains from students' treks. So I want to talk to you really quickly about the strategic goals that Christine and her team have met together. From one targeted region in Lake Worth to 15 critical geographic locations in Palm Beach County. From a pilot cohort of 8 to 84 student fellows, including 27 recent graduates in 2022. Over 1,000 students reached online with virtual SAT and college prep outreach workshop series. I mean, that's incredible. And think about that, that's in 3 years' time. There's so many nonprofits that don't do that in 10 years. And we, in this room, you're all a part of this change. That's not just for the kids, students, I don't know, I'm so old, I call them kids. Students, it's what it does for our community and ultimately what it does for the whole world. So in June, we have a very big dream, and the dream is to raise $50,000 in celebration of Path to College 5th anniversary. So we're asking you to believe big too. 50 grand for 5 more years and 150 student fellows. So it's a big goal. It's a goal. But I think that Path to College, out of all of the charities in this county, has a great path to get there. And it's through all of you, and it's through all of your help. So there's 3 ways that we would like to ask for your help tonight. We'd like to ask for a commitment from each and every one of you. And some of you can't do the financial commitment, but you can do other things. So financially, we're going to ask you to dream big and donate. Donate is how, obviously, not-for-profits work. That's how we move mountains. That's how we're able to help. And sometimes when somebody asks you to donate, you don't know where the money is going. I think we can see that it's sitting right in front of us here today. I also think that when you think about donating, $5 can make a huge difference to a program. So don't think anything is too small. Also believe big. You could tell a friend. So for example, if you can't share the $5, you know what you can do? You can share it tonight on your social media. You can post it on your stories. You can post it on your Instagram. Let people know who Path to College is. That's how you grow this organization and make it bigger and better. And then empower big. As you heard, being a mentor sounds like a wonderful thing. To be able to say at the end of your life that you changed a student's life, how incredible would that be? So I think that if you have an hour per week, we've given you 3 things you can do with your hour. You can give it back and just give us a little bit of money, which sounds good. You can mentor, or you can just share on social media. So we'd like each of you in this room today to please commit to helping this organization because they need it. And I think they are a wonderful charity that's very deserving, and your support matters. So we are going to ask you just to dream big, believe big, empower big, and then have big results. And if you'll bear with me, I'm just going to read you one more quick sentence and then we'll move to the main attraction. But we're asking you for the polished growth of the movement to invest in the futures of the hardest working students in our community by removing their barriers. And here's why. Here are the stats. 100% of our 53 graduates have been accepted to 4-year colleges. 60% have been accepted to top-tier schools. That's institutions that increase long-term earning potential by 20%. And 60% have achieved full ride scholarships. So that deserves applause. Thank you for your community support. Thank you for being here. And now, without further ado, we should actually mention if they would like to do any of those things, how that's possible. Through a website, maybe, perhaps?
So you've all already used the QR code tonight, and we're giving you another one right here on the screen. Please point your cameras there. You can be able to donate to Path to College, or if you're not techie and you don't want to use the QR code, please just go to pathtocollege.org/donate. That's how we run this amazing organization. That's how we change the lives of our countless students. And we thank you in advance for already joining us in the mission that we are doing of changing individual lives. Thank you so much. And now, and now, if we can have our panelists, our EdFest panelists come back to the stage, not our panelists, I'm sorry, our EdFest students, please come back up to the stage. I'll say their name one more time so that you can remember these names, because I'm telling you, they're gonna be changing the world. So keep these names in mind. Ladies, please make your way back up to the stage. Let me find your name on the program. All right, Carmela Bova. Sarai Umansor Morales. Jalen Sevilla, Joyce Vicente, Samantha Pierre, moment of truth. I do want to give an honor.
That's really tough for whoever said. 8, 1. Anybody win that?
Roy's here! Yay! Congratulations, Roy.
I wish I was you.
And our second place winner, who will be selected by our second place student, will be receiving a Apple Watch SE valued at $279. Yes, Vanna White, show it off. Yes, thank you. Carmela, do us the honors.
All right, 6, 7, 8, 7, 4, 7, 7. It says Lexi on the back. I don't know.
Wait, she's here. Talk about perfect timing, because I was about to be like, next. Great job. Great job, Carmela. Thank you for that. And last but not least, our first place raffle prize winner will be selected by our first place EdFest champ winner. And this raffle winner will receive a Oculus Quest 2 VR virtual reality headset valued at $399.
Okay.
Do the honors.
So the number is 678-7642. And the name is Rebecca.
She left. So you get to pick another one. Yep. Yeah, pick another one. Come back, Sandy. You got to be in the building to win. You got to be in it to win it, right, people? Yeah.
And the winner is Koi.
No. Congratulations, Goy. Congratulations. Oh, that was just the box. Now I get the real prize. Okay. Are we doing the big give? I'm not Oprah yet. I'm working on that. Okay, so now we will do a student raffle prize. And each student as they came in tonight got one ticket. So now we will have a ticket selected and one of our students will win.
Will I pick myself?
And this student will be receiving a Bluetooth speaker and a 5-in-1 power bank from our platinum sponsors, Office Depot.
I see people here like taking 2 W's. The winner is Carmela.
Bluetooth speaker. Yay! And we're gonna do another raffle. We like to give things away. We're building up our Oprah cred here. So for anybody who came tonight, you are part of the door prize selection. And our door prize winner will receive a set of Office Depot golf balls with gift cards attached. So we will go ahead and pick that.
0, 2, 4, 9, 8, 8, 8.
All right, Alpesh. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to congratulate our EdFest winners. Congratulations, ladies. we got one more. Oh, man, I'm sorry. We had one more. We have more prizes. Okay, so for those of you who are giving up and thinking that you didn't win, you might still have another opportunity. This is for the big give. So for those of you who donated tonight or who will donate online, this is for you. And I get the honors? Ooh, oh, okay. Let me get right down there all the way in the bottom. All right, so the winner is 678-7533. Anybody? Going once, twice? Next ticket. Yes, yes, we got a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Come on. In the house with us tonight, we have school board member Erica Whitfield. Thank you for joining us, board member Whitfield. And I want to thank Miss Alexi Savage, who re-donated back her gift because she wants to give it to the students. Thank you. Got some big-hearted people around here. Do we have more prizes? We already did it. We did it. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. Oh, she wants to give it away now. Yeah, good. We can do it now. All right, so let's give one of our students an Apple Watch instead. Let's do it. Let's do it. Christine gets to do the honors.
Samantha Fable.
I want to take this opportunity to thank our staff who made this event possible tonight, all the outreach committee members, all of the board members, every single person who contributed to making this night a success. If you are part of our board, part of our outreach committee, a volunteer who just came in for this event, please take a stand up so that we can clap for you and just thank you for being here with us. I want to ask our panelists also to stand up. That includes you, our panelists who are volunteering your time this evening. Our members who are at the check-in tables who greeted you this evening and gave you those lucky tickets. Thank you so much. Our staff members, our college coaches, every single one of you makes this event and this organization a success. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't say thank you enough. I'm gonna pass it back to our fearless leader.
I don't know about fearless, you just do it scared, right? Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We are going to have dessert and some music, compliments, and thank you so much to Digital Vibes. We love you all. Thank you. So again, thanks for being here and staying with us to the end. Let's have some fun.